once you break that, it's hard for me to trust again. It's hard for me to respect you again. Once you do something wrong,
it cuts you off.
They just like, okay. Hey, blissful friends, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode. I'm your girl, Cece, and I'm joined by my hubby. What's up, babe?
What's up, guys? This is Will. Welcome back to another episode. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on the notification bell so we can tell you, or so YouTube can let you know when videos like this one come out. This is a weekly podcast where we talk about
love, life, family, relationship, and whatever else is going on. We're going to talk about it here on the Blissology Podcast.
Absolutely.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, like a DJ, you know? I'm a mixer.
Yes. Hey, listen, before we get into the topic of the day, we want to quickly jump into our blissful moment. There it is.
Well, my blissful moment is, I went to the eye doctor. Yeah. I got some new lens, but same glasses. Yeah, apparently my eyesight changed a little bit. And I'm wearing them now because I'm trying to get myself used to the new lens. Let's just put it that way.
She's been complaining.
And I've been complaining. I'm like, oh my God, they're so big in front of me. And apparently, y'all know I've been wearing glasses since I was 15.
Let me say this. You know how sometimes you're looking for something to be wrong with something? You give people who has no business wearing that something and you're asking them, does it seem different? Now, your vision is completely different than mine. Right. You give me those glasses, I put them on, I'm not going to see the same thing you see. What's the point of saying, hey, try them on? See,
I put them on and I can see when I walk the way I step, and I'm like, okay, the step is a lot closer now.
Your glasses have anything to do with your stepping?
And when when the lady actually put them on, and she's like
shoes or something.
And she was like, well, just so you know, you're gonna have to get used to the way your glasses are now, because the way your old lenses were, they're not the same anymore. So you're gonna have to look down. And I was like,
that's
what?
why you had to change them.
And I'm like, do I have to look down when I'm walking? It's just like, no, you just gotta get yourself used to the new lens. And I'm like, babe, do you see anything different? And of course, y'all know how we are, us women. We want to make sure that, hey, do you see anything? Because I'm seeing things that I'm not supposed to.
I'm not going to even comment. I am not. But you know what?
But I think that's my blissful moment.
Yeah, she's been postponing replacing these glasses for about 3 months.
Yes.
Maybe longer than that.
Yeah, well, listen. It was November, December. It was Christmas time. I couldn't go and spend money on new lens, and it's supposed to spend money on
she was
Christmas.
complaining that I need to change them. And I'm like, call the doctor's office, because they had already did your eye exam. All you have to do, oh yes, I will call them next week. 2 weeks went by. She started complaining again. So I'm glad. See, this is the blissful part. I am glad I will not be hearing about I need to replace my glasses. And I'm hoping that in the next couple of days that I stop hearing about, I got to get used to these lenses. It doesn't take 2 months. You've had them for about a week now. Well, actually, you've had them for, it's going to be a week on...
Yeah, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm hoping that I don't hear about these lenses. And she's asking me to try the thing.
And you did.
And of course, I'm going to see different. My eyesight is different than yours.
Yeah. And if you had asked me to try yours, and I would have been like, okay, babe, let me see. You see how I mean when I say when it comes to the way you see things and the way I see things.
I don't wear glasses.
But I'm saying, yes, you do, but you barely wear it. I would say, babe, okay, let me see the difference between now and the one before.
I never wore your other glasses. How could I?
Yes, you had.
How could you compare something?
Before. What I'm saying is, when it comes to them, they're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. But when it comes to us, we're like, okay, sure. We'd be more than happy to try it.
Fault with stuff.
Try is what I'm trying to say. And just to make them feel happy. But when it comes to us, They think that we're nagging, we're complaining. We're not. I'm just saying, we're not. We're just talking.
I'm still not commenting. There's no comments coming from me. I'm good.
Anyways, yeah, that's my bliss when I got my new lens, same glasses. Although my doctor was like, "You sure you don't want to change your glasses?" I'm like, "No." Apparently, I had them since 2021, and I am so proud of myself for holding on to, these frames for a good 3 or 4 years. Yeah,
they weren't cheap. They were not cheap. So
that part. So. So it's good to take care of the things that you have, and this is what I'm saying. So, yes, I'm good. Are we good? I'll have you try them out
I'm
for
hoping
me.
to be good. I'm hoping to not hear anything like glasses. And she's bad at storing these glasses as well. Sometimes I found them in the bed. She has cases with them, but she just put them wherever she is.
But babe, you should be proud of me. 3 years with the same frame.
What? I've been picking them up and putting them away. So I don't accidentally lay on them.
But anyways.
So I'm going to bed. I'm like, oh, what's that thing that's out on the bed?
Well, yeah, because when I read my Bible, and then I fell asleep. So I have no choice. And you tend to be the one that come and grab it and put it away.
Anyway, so she's got new glasses. And
new
I'm hoping
lens.
to stop hearing about. Well, she's got new lens. And I'm hoping to stop hearing about.
That's my blissful moment. What's your blissful moment, baby?
That's my blissful moment as
Which
well.
is what?
I'm hoping.
Hoping for what?
Hoping that I don't hear about this.
Oh my God.
Next week.
Anyways.
Anyway, let's get into the topic of the day, which is betrayal.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, today we're going into this topic. I know it's heavy, but it is important. It is so important because that's something that people deal in relationship all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Betrayal and forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can one fix the other?
That's a good question.
Listen, Sis is the type that she doesn't forget stuff.
I don't.
She holds stuff in, but not as much as she used to. So I'll tell you right now, if I betray her, I'm probably gone.
You out. You dead to me.
If I do, I'm probably gone.
You are.
So I do pray God that I don't find myself in a position where I betray this woman.
I'm a type of person where once you do me wrong, you are like out. It's hard for me to forgive and forget and forgive.
She's got issues. Someone's got to pray for her. But hey, listen, how do we define betrayal?
That's a good question.
Is it just infidelity, where I go and tip it out and do some stuff and then hoping to come back,
which is what you call wishing?
Or yeah, or can it be something smaller, like maybe breaking a promise of some sort?
Yeah, I truly feel like breaking a promise, for sure. I think it has to do with trust too.
Oh, it does. Betrayal can be anything that break trust.
Yes,
and it could be something that causes you to lose respect or being disrespected.
Yep.
It could be anything that threatens the safety of the relationship itself.
Yes.
So it could be something big. Maybe it's a crazy lie you gave, or maybe you have a child outside of your marriage.
Wedlock.
Yes. Or it could be a few small actions, but over time they add up to something.
Yeah, they just build up.
So it could be anything, but I think the biggest thing is the pain that comes from the feeling that you've been violated.
Of course.
You've been taken advantage of. You've been taken for a fool.
Yes, I agree. And I think it's not just for us women. I think it's the same thing goes for you guys too. Once you break that, it's hard for me to trust again. It's hard for me to respect you again. And I feel like nowadays a lot of people, once you do something wrong,
cut you off.
They just like, okay. And I truly feel like it's a lot of us millennials and the Gen Zs that are like really cutthroat. We just not playing.
We've learned not to tolerate certain things that maybe our parents would have tolerated.
Versus our parents, which is the boomers, our parents would be more like, okay, let's look into it. Back in the days, a lot of us women didn't really have much to say, right? So our parents, boomers, and their parents they didn't really have much to go by. Like once you with a man and the man gonna have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wives, you don't have a choice but to stay.
That's a lot
like
of wives,
that's a
7,
lot
8,
of
9,
like
10.
listen. But there's people who have all these crazy stuff out there, boomers and the boomers' parents, because they didn't have someone who can really like, hey, listen, you're not supposed to be doing that, and if you do me like this, I'm out. They couldn't go anywhere.
Well, hey, listen, I mean, the way relationships are these days are different. There are people that got married and they're willing to, through whatever, they'll work through it. And sometimes they felt like, especially ladies, they felt like they have no choice to stay in that relationship.
Yeah.
And always welcome the men back. Yeah. I think this generation that we're living in right now, it's different, but that doesn't mean betrayal should be the end of.
I agree. But if you can work it out, then yes. Some people feel like they invested so much time into the relationship, they don't feel like giving up so quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, betrayal can be personal.
Of course.
And what feels like betrayal to you, may not even be seen as being
to somebody
betrayal
else.
to someone else.
Right.
So, and this is what that personal said, because we all have different ways we view things and different ways we process things. But you know what? It's about how you see it. It's about the perception of what is betrayal and the impact it has on the relationship we have. Like, for instance, I know how she feels about certain things. Mm-hmm. So I've been warned. Yep. And the expectation is set. So I know where not to go. Just like she knows how I feel about this certain things.
Yep.
And she knows she goes that route. I have issues.
You do.
I tolerate certain things, but things that causes me to feel like I've been played as a fool, or you've disrespecting me. I don't deal with that stuff.
Right.
So, but let's say betrayal happened. Mm-hmm. It hurts.
Of course, anger
causes you to get angry, and those are real feelings.
Yes. Like you have that beast of you, that other side that you don't want to come out. You like, Hulk. You know what I mean? It's like you have that Hulk side of you that's like, okay, I gotta come out because I'm hurt, I'm angry. Mm-hmm. So therefore, I feel like hating something. And
it's real. Sometimes people think of, hey, maybe I screwed up on something, but I didn't physically hurt you.
Yes.
Emotionally speaking, psychologically speaking, these things can be hurtful, and it's real. Now, here's the question.
Right.
Can forgiveness repair things and, bring things back to being whole?
Unless if Jesus come down himself and say, see, son.
That's what you're saying.
Unless if Jesus, our Savior, come down and says, see, you gotta forgive this man. And then
now Jesus worked through
I understand
that. So if your priest says
like I said, unless if he come down, Jesus the Messiah, unless if he come down from heaven and said, yes, I give you, yes, it's okay if we forgive him, then I would forgive you.
See what I'm dealing with?
No priest,
more than ever.
No parents, no therapist. There's some betrayal that someone do to you. It's so hard to forgive though, but there's little ones that can be, fixable, that we can through therapy and fix that.
What's considered little, even what's little and what's big, that's open to interpretation. But let me say this. There's no such thing as one size fit all, which means something may seem small to you, may be big to someone.
Right.
It always depends on the type of betrayal.
There you go. Of course. Of course.
The people involved. And obviously their willingness to work things out. Because you may find, listen, I've known many people that has their spouse go out, have a few children, and then they come back, they make things work. I don't know how they do it, but they've made things work.
Prayers.
But also have known some people that has spouse may have gone out, may have been allegedly do something.
Yeah.
And they just cut it off. So it depends on the people.
Yeah.
do you have the character to be able to deal with something like this? Do you have the strength to be able to, forgiving is not about accepting and condoning the action of the person it's done. It's more about
letting go.
Yeah. Letting go of resentment. Don't hold this person in. Because some people are going to say, man, I'm willing to move on. But they resent that person. How could you? You can't.
Yeah.
And you gotta learn to let go of your anger.
For your own peace of mind.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want that peace of mind, you have to let it go.
Are not at peace.
Like I said this all the time. It doesn't mean forgetting. I'm always going to say this. I'm not going to
forget what happened.
No.
Well, here's what I say. You don't have to forget it.
Or pretending it didn't happen.
But at the same time,
I don't see how people do that.
But I don't know, but people find different ways of coping with things. Some people putting it behind them and never revisit it, maybe their way of coping with it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they forget though.
Right.
But some people think that they have to keep bringing this thing in your face every time just so they let you know that they didn't forget what you did.
Just so you can feel bad.
Right.
Because I know I'm that type of people. Remember what you did? Yes.
But but that's bad for any relationship.
But I would feel like, I don't know. Then again, I did say this earlier. It just depends on what the person did. It just depends on the betrayal. Like you mentioned earlier, there's no one size of betrayal. Like once a betrayal is a betrayal. Yeah, it could be something so minor. But to me or to some other people, it could be something so harshly that it's so hard for me to just like move on.
Yeah.
And be around you.
Hey, listen. It's a personal journey and sometimes it takes time. I'm talking about lots of time.
Yes.
Forgiveness doesn't magically erase what happened. It doesn't. You know? But what it does is it allows you to put yourself in a position where you can start having a conversation. You can start interacting with each other in a way to rebuild what you have. Now, what you have may never go back to what it was prior, but at least you can rebuild it to something that can work. Rebuilding trust, I don't know. I've never had to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could ever do it. But it is tough.
It is a beast.
It's tough to get someone to start trusting.
Yeah, it's like starting all over again. To be honest, like the trust is just not going to be there 100%, 50%. It's like you have to start all over for me to really, really trust you. And there's so much effort that the person has to do. You have to be able to have open communication and it be able to be patient too, because patience has to come with me being able to like forgive and try to move on and rebuild that trust again, because it's not easy. It's not easy. And a lot of people, they may think it's easy, and it's not going to be easy on both partners. And I truly feel like it has to come from both people, has to be committed for us to work the process.
Oh, yes.
Because it's going to be a lot of work. And of course, the pastor, the therapist, your parents, the children, the dog, everybody has to put in their effort for us to be able to rebuild that foundation.
And even the rebuilding process is going to be tough. There will be time where you run into bumps, run into issues.
Yeah, of course.
And you if you're willing to make mistakes, you got to be willing to deal with those issues as they come up.
Yeah.
And just deal with it the best you could.
Right.
There's going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. There's going to be bad days. but you got to learn to not beat yourself up if you run into setbacks.
Yes.
If you said you're going to work at this, when you start running into issues, this is not when you wrap up and throw in the towel and says, I'm done. I can't. No. Expect setback and deal with it. And I know I've said that in many other podcasts where you run into issues. Sometimes forgiveness, in this case, may not be the right answer. It's okay. It's absolutely okay to walk away from a relationship that's toxic. And I'm talking about those where you find the partner keeps doing the same thing.
Over.
The same thing.
Over.
The same thing.
Over again.
That's good.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Listen, you got to love the person that you're with, but you got to learn to love yourself.
Yeah. Self-love is important.
Without that, you would be killing yourself for the benefit of someone else than who wins in this case.
Right. I agree.
If you both decide to reconcile, remember, communication is key.
Which we talk about here a lot on the podcast, whether if it's someone that you're dating, whether if it's someone that you're married to, whether if it's someone that you're just trying to figure out if this is the right person for you. Communication is everything. And as you were talking, I was thinking about how, for that trust to rebuild the trust again, you have to date that person over again.
Yeah. There are things that happen.
You have to.
You go back to zero.
You have to date that person again and do the things that you did in the past. And then somehow she may or he may feel like, you know what, I can trust them again or trust her again.
So this is where it goes back to both of you have to decide that you want to give this a try.
Yes.
You want to give it a shot at making this work.
Yes.
Because the hurt is not going to go away in a heartbeat. The pain is not going to, the anger. You got to work through all of that stuff.
You have to.
And if you decide, you know what, I'm going to give this a try again, you got to set some clear expectations going forward.
Right. You have
Don't hold anything in. I'm talking about lay it all out.
Yeah.
Lay it all out this way. You'll get to realize whether or not you're both on the same page into what's expected.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there are people that have habits that it's not easy for them to give it up. And as you start laying expectations, you realize there's not things that they can deliver on or either be able to abide by. Then that may be your cue to say, you know what? I'm out.
Yeah.
Now, I do say that sometimes we don't have the ability to resolve things on our own. And sometimes we need help.
Right.
A therapist.
Professional help.
Yes. You need someone who specializes in his,
not your friends.
No.
Professional helps.
Because when you're dealing with betrayal, some people, they have it in themselves. They can work things out. But others, they may want to work it out.
Yeah.
But without having a mediator, someone who can help them. Because there's feelings that we just don't know how to channel them.
How to control them.
And unless you get someone that can help you navigate through these feelings to use them the right way, take that energy, maybe puts it towards building as opposed to destroying.
Right.
You can't function. So yes, get assistance from a professional.
Yes.
Someone that can help you process your emotions and guide you through the process of healing. Because believe me, it may not be physical, but being betrayed, it's like you got injured.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
And it's a process. It's a process. Going through the healing process, it is going to take some time because you have to take care of yourself. You have to physically connect with God because that's going to have a major impact on your mental.
When betrayal happened, forgiveness played a big part of it. And what I said to this, sometimes we run into like things that are really tough and really tested our relationship.
Yeah.
We got to look at what are we learning from this?
Right.
Because love means, sometimes you got to learn to tolerate.
Yeah.
It's not me saying that tolerate everything. But if you say you love someone, you have to acknowledge that they have faults just like we do. Sometimes we are very good at seeing the fault in that person, but we forget that we may have even thought about doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Or we may have done the same thing. They just didn't catch us. So look at it as this is a moment for me to learn to grow.
Right.
Grow spiritually.
Yes.
Mature. Now, but at the same time, it's an opportunity for whoever may have been at fault at whatever they did.
Yes.
It's an opportunity for them to learn as well.
Right.
Yeah, but there'll be some transformation, some personal transformation in the process where you would go from maybe naive to now being a bit more cautious person.
Yeah.
And maybe being a bit more analytical. Yeah, you tell me that's where you're at, I'm going to take you.
Yeah, because you don't want the same thing happen again. You actually grow from the experience and you want to learn, you make sure that whatever that you went through, you learn from it, and you don't let it happen again. Because I tell you that sometimes when things happen, it's actually a lesson for you to learn and grow from it, so you don't repeat it again. I mean, if it's something that you're like, okay, I'm gonna be, whether if we're gonna work it out, great, and if we don't work it out, now I learn from it and I make sure it doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, talk about betrayal does sound negative, and it is negative, but I want to leave you guys on a positive note.
Mm-hmm. What's that, baby? Where's the positivity in this?
Listen, betrayal can be hurtful, but I'll even say that it can be devastating. In fact, it is devastating, but it doesn't have to define your relationship. You know, with communication, with understanding, and sometimes with a little, let me just not say a little, with a lot of forgiveness, you can emerge stronger.
Yeah.
You know, you can become more connected than ever.
Yeah.
Because one thing I tell you, when you've gone through this process, sometimes you get to realize how good of a thing you had. And then you'll do everything you can
to get it back.
Not just get it back, to never lose it again. So, hey, listen, before we sign off, we'd like to hear from you guys. Hopefully you haven't dealt with that, but if you have any thoughts, or if you've dealt with it,
or know someone
who have, share your thoughts on betrayal and forgiveness. We'd love to hear from all these.
Yeah, because this is not easy, and it's not easy, and it's not easy.
Yeah. But you know what? I want to thank you guys for joining us on the Blissology Podcast today. We cannot wait to hear about, hopefully not your experience, but your thoughts on how you would deal with betrayal, and how would you go about forgiving.
Or maybe your experience, if you had gone, if you had
gone through it.
Yeah.
We have tissues, so if you have to cry while you share it, we'll send some to you. But anyway, listen, we appreciate you guys. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. So until next time, keep loving
and stay blissful.
Try not to betray your partner.
That's right.
Peace.